Hey everybody, welcome back to Comics Unchained. We got some more books for you today. Here's Sergio Sanchez, and
It's me.
he's back from the Phantom Zone. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. We've got a real good one for you today, and I'm gonna start off with talking about the writer. It's Donny Cates. If you guys are following comics at all, he is exploding everywhere, and I mean it's nuts. Like Marvel almost can't
He's the
stop.
man right now.
Yeah, he's the guy. So, I mean, I don't even have to give you that much history, but guy made an impression at Dark Horse and Image with things like God Country, moved on to Marvel with things like Venom and Thanos, and now, and recently King in Black, which is also all over the place. But I want
But
to
it's
go
a good
back
read.
to, yeah, great read. I want to go back to some of his roots with Image. He's doing a new book that's on issue 4. It's called Crossover, and I'm going to distinctly talk about Crossover today, issue 4, because man, was it a hell of a read. It's it's
Yeah,
beautiful to
this
look
is the
at.
book I've wanted to get into.
The covers alone look amazing. Even I personally don't like cover B's or C's, but they look great. The concept of the story, I almost was like, how did he even come up with this? The guy has so much creative juice. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. He teamed up with his old buddy Jeff Shaw, who he's been working with since his days the first time with Dark Horse and Image. So the art is spectacular, very distinctive, very different look, but still feels kind of normal, like something your eyes don't want to look away from. Um, and the characters are just crazy relatable, man. Like every character, whether it be a hero or a regular person, is just someone you feel like I understand this person or this superhero.
Really.
So yeah, I mean,
Dude,
there's
because like I've wanted to read crossover, but my comic shop, I can't like he's got to order me in at issue one, and it's not like like I always say in the videos, I'm not really a first print kind of guy anymore.
yeah,
Um, I got to read the first issue because there's no way I can just jump into issue four and be like, hey, this is
nah,
cool.
yeah, and
I'm I'm a stickler for that.
that's one of the problems with Donny Cates is when his name's on a book, they fly, man. They're not gonna sit on the shelf for too long. But like I
See,
said,
and that's the messed up part because he's got two, three, and four sitting on the shelves,
but that
but
issue
like
one,
not issue one. And I can't
yeah,
like I'm like, dude, I can't. I
yeah,
want to read this, but I can't. I want to read crossover. Crossover is probably like something I want to put in my polls, but I can't
you gotta get that
because
issue one. And it's pivotal too. It's not one of those because there are books out there where you can kind of jump in a little late because they change writers or whatever and they start going a different direction. But
yeah,
when it's at number one and it's definitely gonna be like a series, it's probably not gonna go too many issues or like maybe barely into the 50s. It's hard to go without issue one. But yeah, it's a great read. I highly recommend it. It's outside of the two main heads, which is Marvel DC, so you get some of that indie kind of anything goes kind of stuff going on in the book.
I would
So
say Image is an indie,
not anymore.
but
They've pushed the mainstream in recent years.
they just changed kind of like they don't have a lot of like reoccurring characters like they used to back in the early
Yeah.
'90s, late '90s, where they had like that Spawn and a couple other characters, Lady Death and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Uh, Evil Ernie. They just don't have those like reoccurring characters anymore. So it's very different with Image Comics, dude. Because honestly, like some of the stuff they're creating is great. But yeah, definitely, like they're still a contender. Some of
Yeah,
the books they've put out have
absolutely.
been better than Marvel and DC
I would
in the last
argue
couple of years.
that there's been a couple years where my pickups every week were only image books because they're just so
Yeah.
solid and Marvel wasn't or DC wasn't really putting anything out that I wanted to read. And it happens, man.
Plus,
I mean,
isn't Image like still that really cool? Not what's the word? I don't know. I'm not a big word guy. Aren't they like they always gear more towards the adult teen or the adults,
oh
right? So
yeah,
like
yeah,
their
it's
their
much
books can
it's
get really graphic.
yeah, it's a lot more mature. And a lot of the themes and some of the like character motivations are way more mature than your average like superhero book, you know what I mean, like from DC or Marvel. But yeah, again, great read, good team between Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw. Um,
This is crossover issue.
This is crossover issue 4, and from 1 leading all the way to 4, it's just been ramping up. and getting cooler and cooler, and it's just cool stuff and little references here and there that are hilarious, and yeah, it's good. But
Well, like I said, it's definitely a book I want to check out. I'm
yeah,
just waiting to get my copy issue 1. If not, I might just be able to jump in when they do like a volume collection, and like
yeah.
volume 1 where it's just like book 1 through 6 or 1 through
And
12 or
that's the
something like
beautiful
that.
thing about comics. You can, if you've got the patience, you can get all this stuff in one convenient little package where you get issues like
Yeah.
one through
I'm not talking about
six.
like a huge compendium
Yeah, yeah, no, not
where I've got
necessary.
to read
Just get those
like I don't want to
volumes.
wait that long to read the
Yeah,
entire
it's not
series,
necessary.
but
But you got a little
that would
treat
like
for us today, right?
what I have treats. I have treats. I have treats for people. Yeah.
No, you wanted to mention a book for us today, right?
Oh, I do have an honorable mention, and it's probably blowing up the internet right now. Let me grab this thing right here, right now, real quick, because you know, we don't. I just want to take a look here and make sure I don't screw up any names. That's my because I mean, this is gonna be my mo though, is like screwing up
Yeah,
names
if
hardcore
there's
because I'm
anything
really good at
about
it. But there's one.
our podcast, or I'm sorry, our YouTube, is we're
Change it now.
professionals.
We're
We're
doing a
trying
podcast
to
anymore.
be professionals. Get all the
We're
names
not
out
very.
there.
Oh yeah, super professional here, man.
Hmm.
Look at this setup. I got my turtle pieces on, dude.
Exactly. Look at us.
Um, so you're probably if you were in comic stores this Wednesday, last Wednesday, yeah, last Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah,
If
that
you
sounds
were in
right.
comic stores, you probably came across a little book that may if your comic guy's a great guy like mine is, Dave over at Ground Zero, um, self self promoting. You picked up a little book. It's called Brzrkr. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but don't get me wrong because it is not spelled Berserker. Okay, and not to be confused with Berserk, one of my favorite mangas of all time. But
Great
this
manga.
book is great. Too bad they can't adapt that anywhere well to movies. God dang it.
I'll never be that lucky.
Uh yeah, no, I don't know. But if you picked up this book, you might notice a little name on the top of that book, and that is Mr. Keanu Reeves, John Wick himself. And I don't want to go too much into depth of this because it's like I said, it's an honorable
Right.
mention. It's out there everywhere. Probably everybody's doing reviews of it. I'm pretty sure like media outlets are going to get a hold of this thing soon because of who Keanu Reeves is and how everybody's seen the video, how nice of a guy he is, and how everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the dude, not at all, dude. I'm a huge fan. Uh, but this is done by Keanu Reeves and Matt. I'm gonna mispronounce this. Kindit, Kindt.
Kindon.
Uh,
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
um, yeah, and then Rob Garney is the illustrator. Um, but yeah, this book came out of left field. I didn't know anything about it. Apparently, this has like been hyped for a while. It even had like a kickstart or something like that. From what I think, I might be wrong,
Oh, okay.
but it's definitely a really different kind of read. It really throws you back to like the artwork. Artwork leaves something to be expanded on. I want to say,
Okay.
but the story too, it takes a little bit getting used to. Again, this is co-written by Keanu Reeves, so he didn't do all the writing. Um, but it leaves a little bit to want to be talked about as you read it. You kind of like what's going on. You get a little bit distracted by some of the action that's going on in the book, and I'm flipping through it here as I'm talking. But like, I love that it is his likeness on the book. By the way, like
Right.
it
Yeah, I think
looks
I saw
like
the cover
Keanu
a
Reeves
couple
in a
times.
comic.
Yeah. Jeez.
So like it's pretty awesome. But without spoiling anything, like it is a good read. It's definitely something majorly different, and it's produced by Boom Studios, who's known for putting out like taking the risk on
Yeah.
books.
Some weird
So
stuff
like
from
if
them
you're looking for
sometimes.
something different, if you're a huge fan of Keanu Reeves, this is probably going to be in a lot of people's collectors um,
Right.
sitting out there for that because they're gonna want it. It's got his name on it,
Exactly.
and this is the first time he's touching something in a comic book, and that really like credited for co-writing. So it's not like he's just like, hey, yeah, use my likeness and hey, I'm the Nick Fury of the Marvel universe, and Samuel L. Jackson gave you permission. So we all
Right.
know how that happened.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Brzrkr issue 1 in stores now. You can check it out. Pick it up at any of your comic shops, comic retailers. There you go. So, yeah, I just wanted to add that in there really quick. I mean, if you're looking for something flashy, it's got that old artwork like from Kick-Ass, man.
Ah,
Like
okay.
in other books. Another book that I really enjoyed, like the artwork's a little bit like the Legend of Luther Strode.
Yes. Okay.
So like
Yeah,
that's that it's got that artwork and it is bloody.
yeah.
So
It's yeah.
if you're into that, dude, definitely worth it.
It's the
But
least I
that's
would
my
expect.
honorable mention for this week. So
Beautiful.
I wanted to honorably mention that because, and like I said, if you want to go get more in depth on it, I'm sure there's other channels out there that have covered it better than we have. But I'm telling you right now, it's definitely worth the cover price. Um, this was another $5 book that I purchased. So go check it out. Brzrkr, written, co-written by Keanu Reeves, written and Matt Kindit. So
Beautiful.
pretty decent. So check it out.
Nice.
All right.
Well, I
So
think that's gonna wrap it up for us. We went a little bit longer than normal, but that's because we got some good stuff for you guys.
we did
Uh,
two.
we did too. Yeah.
It was just supposed to be an
So
honorable mention, but we did two.
we did too, baby. It's just gonna happen. You know what I'm talking about? It's all for you guys.
Some videos will be longer than the others.
Yeah, and that's not a problem. But yeah, we're gonna close it out. As always, keep on reading. This is Sergio Sanchez, and I'm Indiana Leone, and this is Comics Unchained. Thanks for watching, guys.
Later.
Later.